Right. So you're saying if he's going to offer to leave some elves there to help with the tree growing process, that could interest the dwarves because that's something they can't do.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
Okay. So he tells them, look, we can bring seed, we can bring trees out from Doriath that will grow. Yeah. And we can make the forest grow.
Yeah.
We got you. It's okay.
Right. So that
no
that
more road.
Yeah.
You don't continue building the road. You don't come out and murder us, and we grow more trees for you.
Right. Which that sounds more like a deal that everyone's going to be more okay with.
Yeah. And by the way, also pearls and words. So here you go.
Yeah. I feel like the pearls and the runes are an accident, though. Like Thingol didn't know he was holding on to something that was going to be awesome.
Yes.
And like there happens to be a pearl necklace in the stuff that he hands over as treasures, but it's not like the only thing in there was a pearl necklace.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like,
it's like
here.
There was like wooden carved things that the dwarves don't care about. And like
right. There should be like a collection of things, and one of them is a pearl bracelet or necklace or something.
Yeah.
Which the dwarves are all like, ooh, we care about this, and kind of didn't really care about the rest.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Where does amber show up?
Where?
Yeah, where do you get amber?
Amber is from forests. It's from fossilized forests.
Right. But my point is, like, where do you, like, do you dig it up? Or?
Generally, yeah. I mean, okay. There's fossilized amber.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can get like crystallized tree sap that will, it's not the same level. It's not even close. Right. But you don't have to dig it up.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what other gems the elves would even have at this point, because they don't dig stuff up very much. So they have pearls.
Turquoise.
Could they also have amber?
They could have amber.
Okay.
But turquoise, usually don't have to dig for turquoise.
Good. Okay, so if they have turquoise and amber and pearls, it's like a selection. And like you said, the dwarves probably wouldn't be all that impressed with their amber. And they might not care about the turquoise, but the pearls would be like, ooh, okay. So like that would...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm lying. There's not fossilized amber. There's not a difference between fossilized amber and regular amber because amber is literally fossilized tree resin. So I'm lying. Okay. It is extracted. It is mined.
Okay.
So you basically, it's usually find it in like the same places you would find coal, I imagine, because forests.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know I know they have it in the Baltic, and I know they have it in like Poland and places like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there used to be like all pine forests.
Yeah.
The reason why that. Yeah. Okay. So that is probably not something that they're going to have a tremendous amount of access to. How far are they from where the lamps fell?
Oh.
Because there would have been a ton of like fossilized coal and amber left over from that.
I think we were going to say that one of the lamps was maybe near where the elves started at Quevienen.
Okay.
Like that lake there that they're on might have been related to the fall of the lamp.
Yeah. So the dwarves already know about amber. They already can get it.
Yeah.
It would be like a semi-precious stone.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was trying to pick something that wasn't like super impressive, but maybe easy to get. But
no, apparently you do have to dig it up.
Okay. Well, other than pearls, then I don't really know what the elves would have, other than their own handicraft stuff, like you said, carved wood stuff.
Yeah, and well, I mean,
ivory,
like ironwood, ivory. Yeah.
Okay. maybe something made out of ivory.
Stuff from like deer antlers and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, they're not going to have elephant tusks, yeah. But
Teeth.
yeah, well, I mean, whalebone, I don't know, whatever.
Enamel.
The point being, we
Yeah.
can give them some crafts that aren't just blocks of wood.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, so they have ivory and pearls and things. And
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. And so he gives them the bot. This should be like an escalation of, hey, we're going to give you stuff that will keep you from invading our land, essentially, because that's what this is. Like that,
It is, in
it's being
diplomatic
portrayed
terms,
differently, but this is the reality of the situation. Is that if the dwarves wanted to, they could just mow their way in, and there would be pretty little the elves could do about it right away.
yes, but in the language of diplomacy, you don't say that. You say things like,
yeah,
that these are gifts of goodwill between our peoples, and this is, to represent
that you're
craft.
respecting the boundary of our land. And
well, no, I mean, you don't even say that. You just say it as, the high esteem we have for you, and we're such good friends here, and it's the gift giving is separate from the negotiations, although clearly it's part of it.
Yes. What do the dwarves give them, do you think?
Well, hopefully something in the lines of armor or weapons. But on the other hand, why would you give weapons to someone who might be your enemy tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe like some steel knives probably wouldn't be the world's worst idea.
Yeah.
That's something, that steel knives or cookware or something like that would, like, that's stuff that you would do in that situation.
Yep.
Because you essentially have like an Iron Age civilization coming into contact with like a Neolithic civilization almost.
Yeah, I don't know if the elves are supposed to be Bronze Age here or what.
They're like pre-Bronze Age, but I mean, everything they make is awesome.
But
right?
It's wood.
but it's wood and stone and bone and like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I know they didn't really want the Sindar to have metal.
Yeah, because if they did, why wouldn't they use it?
Yeah. So yes, definitely if the dwarves have some metal work that they can hand over, that would be impressive and good. But yeah, like you said, not weapons. Just
well, I mean,
knives maybe.
Yeah, knives aren't too bad. And so on. So you get this gift giving,
followed by the negotiations.
Which Thingol's got to realize that he's not, he's kind of out of his league here. So he's basically going to cede them lumber rights to the area east of the river. They tell him, no, that's not going to cut it, dude. Like, we were totally going to do that no matter what you said. So the question is, how do we get there without Thingol looking too weak? Like, does somebody else step in and say this?
Yeah. So my one question would be: is Azaghal speaking Sindarin, or is he speaking through the interpreter?
I think he's probably speaking through the interpreter.
Yeah.
Give the interpreter more to do.
It does, and it shows that the king of the dwarves hasn't necessarily spent time learning the language of the elves yet.
Yeah.
So,
like, there can be, like, when we write the Kudzil dialogue, it could sound way more threatening than what the translator is actually saying.
Yeah, like things, and I kind of was going for that. What gets lost in translation here?
Yeah.
Because if you're speaking through an interpreter, then you're limited by what the interpreter is able to express.
Right. Yeah.
It's not necessarily what you said.
Or willing to express also is another thing.
Yeah, because he's talking to a foreign king, which means
Yeah.
he's going to naturally be more respectful than the fellow king would be.
Yeah. Not to mention talking to his boss essentially is another.
Yeah. Right. So like the interpreter might make sure that things stay polite, even if the kings aren't putting a lot of effort into staying polite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does the idea of the reseeding of trees come from? Does it come from Thingol? Does he come up with that on his own, or does somebody else suggest it?
If the dwarves are going to complain and say lumber rights isn't sufficient because, we'll always need more trees, and once we cut them down, they're gone, like the dwarves should complain about that.
Yeah.
And Thing will be like, oh, well, I can help you with that. If that's your problem, I'll just send some elves over there. We'll get your trees fixed up. No big deal.
Yeah.
So,
Is it no big deal though? He's going to ask a bunch of his people to pack up and move.
yeah, but he's the king. I think he's allowed to do that.
Okay.
I mean, he could just ask for volunteers of who wants to move to Assyria, but I think essentially he can say, yeah, that's a thing we can do.
I feel like the gift of the writing should happen after the negotiation. Because it makes it a bigger deal.
It does. I'm just trying to think.
Walks up afterwards, after they've come to their agreement, and is like, oh, by the way, here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's a personal gift from Luthien rather than a part of the official gift giving.
Right.
Yeah. Now, so we know that Thingol's going to be a tad bit possessive of his daughter in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Are we showing him bringing her to this meeting as him being must lock my daughter in a tower?
This is pre-lock my daughter in the tower thing. The world isn't as dangerous as it's going to be. The world is going to be much more dangerous pretty soon.
Okay, so yeah, I was just saying because if Luthien is here and like chatting it up with dwarf embassy, ambassadors, then that's different than what we're going to see later.
I think that we can show kind of a descent into that.
Okay.
Like we can, because the world's gonna, like I said, the world's gonna get more dangerous.
Yeah, and I'm fine with her being here. It's just it does seem out of character for Thingol to allow it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be questions about that particular thing. So.
Right. Based on his later character, it's suspicious. But again, he can start here and change. That's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Well, just like he didn't always not listen to Melian, otherwise she would not have married him.
Right. Yeah. 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 Okay. So Act 4 then is meeting, meal, check in with Angband, gift giving, negotiations, Luthien giving a private gift of the runes.
Yeah.
It goes over unexpectedly well.
Yes.
So we end on a positive note with the elf-dwarf relationship.
We go to, so for the tag, we go back to the frame.
Yep.
Maybe we have, so we would have had to have had the declining of the invite to wage fake war in the first scene in the original, like in the teaser. And for the tag, we have Estelle talking to one of the elves, saying, hey, this guy, he's such a jerk and blah 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 blah. And probably Elra here in this case saying something effective. You don't really know everything about a person. You can't just know everything about a person from the first time you meet them. And do we have him show him, like, hey, take a look, you want to know? Come take a look. And he shows that
he's taking care of the sick kid or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that works because it doesn't show Estelle and Hamilcar ending the episode being the best of friends, which we didn't want.
Right.
So it shows Estelle learning a lesson and growing in respect for somebody he didn't know at first. So it kind of fits with the theme.
But then the next episode, Hamilcar is still going to be a jerk to him, so it's still going to...
Right. We haven't resolved their issues, but Estelle is being shown by somebody else, hey, you should look into this more. And later on, we're going to see Halbarad pull Hamilcar aside and say, you don't know everything there is to know about Estelle.
Right.
And there's a reason this is happening the way it is, and it's time you should know what's going on here. So I think it's good to parallel that now by having one of the twins pull Estelle aside and be like, look, kid, there's a bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Sounds like an episode.
Yeah, we did it again in a little over 3 hours. No big deal. What else you got?
I do have a question, though. In the end, is our protagonist Mablung or Thingol?
I feel like it's Thingol. I think it's both of them, but I do think that Mablung feels like the primary protagonist. So maybe we have to show at least an interaction between Mablung and Dwarf Interpreter at the end, showing that everything has gone well.
Yeah, and that's where I was getting to, is that if Mablung is our protagonist, we can't have him just drop out in Act 4.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so after Luthien gives the gift of the writing, and Dwarf Interpreter is really enthused about it, the interpreter could come to Mablung and say, oh, wow, I had no idea you guys had this.
Yes.
Your culture is so much cooler than I gave you credit for.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you guys aren't useless after all.
Yeah. I mean,
this looks like the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So Mablung and his dwarf buddy from Belagast.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Who I feel like is gonna be I feel like he's going to wind up being a permanent resident. He's going to be the foreman of the Menegroth building crew.
Yeah.
That's totally going to be his job. So now we need a name for this dude. All right.
There's a handful of dwarf names that people have suggested, so I'm sure we can pick one. I mean,
right.
I don't know how to say lover of languages in Kuzdal, but that's clearly what this guy is, so... Someone will figure that out.
All right. Is there anything else that you can think of?
Not for this episode.
Okay.
I feel like that's what needed to go in here.
All right. Excellent. I like this one. I'm happy with this one. I feel like there wasn't a lot there when we started, but I feel like it works now.
Well, I think it was a lot of themes more than plot points.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure our plot points hit
the
a certain note as we were going through. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if you're watching us live, thank you so much. Have a great night. Hopefully we'll see you again 2 weeks from now, right? We're taking a break for the holiday, unless you have plans that weekend that you know of.
No. I should be good 2 weeks from now.
Okay. All right. Cool. We'll work that out. If you're watching this in the future, definitely like and share the videos. If you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. Check out the links below so you can get all the information on the SilmFilm project, the Signum University and Mythgard Academy, and the Tolkien professor who are running all this stuff, including Mythmoot 5, taking place June 21st through the 24th, if memory serves, somewhere in that neighborhood, something like that. It's going to be at the National Conference Center in Leesburg, Virginia. which was awesome last year, if a little bit labyrinthian, like a labyrinth. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.